Hello, welcome back. So happy you joined us again. We're on a roll here. We're talking about there's a plan, and this plan is real. It's planned. You're about Yasserel. And we're kind of calling it the plan of the ages. The old, as they call it, which isn't old, it's current, but there's been a renewal of it. They call it the New Testament because Yahusha, the Messiah, came. In the old, we tried to keep his perfect law by the heart of stone that we had. We did not have the Ruach living within us. Yes, we were yet under grace, but we didn't have the set-apart one making our hearts of flesh instead of stone, which happened when Messiah came and he died and he rose and he sent. The Father sent the Spirit, the Ruach, the set-apart Ruach, so that we could now apply what he has done and keep the law perfectly. Well, that's the plan, and that's the plan that has come to pass. But there's more to coming. There's a reckoning day. There's a time of trouble when you will see with your own eyes the reward of the wicked. We're in that day, and we were trying our very best to get this word out to our people that you are yet in the land of your captivity. There are things you can do here, things that you cannot. But what we can do is we can be prepared to meet Yahusha when he comes for us. So with that in mind, let's go back to our study. We just came out of the 30th chapter of Jeremiah. Now we're going to go into Malachi chapter 1. Malachi chapter 1, and we're going to read the first 4 verses. Malachi 1, 1 through 4 reads thus. The burden of the word of Yahuah to Yasserel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahuah. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahuah? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. Being just little gnats. And laid his mountains, there's that mountain again, hills and them caves, huh? And his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahuah of hosts, though, to that response, he's going to respond to that. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. Think about the border we're arguing over now, down there on the south side of this country. And there's borders trying to go up other places that you may not know about. The border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahuah hath indignation forever. These aren't the people he told me to love, or you. Now listen to this. Let's go back up and look at what's being said here. This is the burden of the word. It's a burden because it's got to come out of us that are called, whether in season and out of season, whether you like it or whether you don't. We're not trying to win personality contests here. It says, I have loved you, saith Yahuah, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, or Jacob's brother? Jacob's brother saith Yahuah, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid waste his heritage, and so on and so forth. And where did he lay it? to the dragons and wilderness. But let's understand what he's saying. He said, I love you. I love you, Yasarel, I love you. And what is Yasarel's response? Oh, yeah, well, you know, Esau you hated, and Jacob you loved. You know, is this you really love us? You know. How come we got to be like that? Anyway, it goes on to say, he did hate Esau in the fact that he knew who Esau was and what he was going to do to his people. You forget who you're dealing with sometimes. So, what is he going to do? He says he's going to lay his heritage waste. We're in the land of Edom. Edom's not just here in the United States. It's the spirit all over this earth. I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for dragons and wilderness and torment. So this is what Esau gets. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at the word. He's got a heritage with the dragons. You know what that means? Dragons represent demons, satanic impulse, influence. That's who these people are. They're under the influence of the prince of the air and the ruler at this time of this realm of the world. Dragons are demons. Satan has been called dragon in Revelation 12:9, where he was thrown down and the horde that was with him. Dragons. This is Esau's fate. It's with the dragons. Also, he said, of the wilderness. What does it mean? Out in the desert somewhere, you know, mountains and too much sun and too cold at night? No, not necessarily. You know, when the Esau was coming out of the land of Yasarel, I'm sure they had some of these experiences, but that's not what he's talking about. What he's talking about is torment. When you see that word wilderness, that's torment. And right now, Esau is headed for torment. He's headed for the wilderness. But they're a little cocky, you know. So here's what they're saying. Whereas Edom says, as a response, we are impoverished, that's true, but we will return. We're going to build again. Well, every time the storm comes and knocks something down, we're going to put that building back up. Every time the waves come and take something, we're going to take it back. No. Let's hear what he says. Let's hear what the response is of Yahuah. He says, you say you're going to build. I'm going to tear it down every time you build something. I'm going to tell you something. This place will never be the same again. Because you see, you can't build if everything's being torn and burned down and drowned, and you just can't do it. It's overwhelming. They're not telling you this, but you go to the same places they had storms last year and year before, and they're still torn down. They're still not back, and never will be completely back again. And then when they do, if they do come back, then guess what? He's gonna wipe them out again. Pretty soon, won't be nothing left in the coffers to put anything back together at all. This is what waste and wilderness is all about. It's about tormenting. Your living style will never be the same again. You'll never have the access to and availability of products and vacations and, you know, all the luxuries that many of you, our oppressors, enjoyed down through the years will not be available to you. Started already. But Yasarel, you'll always have a roof over your head if you'll serve him with all your heart and obey his commandments. You'll always have some place to rest your head. That's why he said, love one another. We are to take care of one another. They're going to build, but I'm going to tear them down. And my indignation going to be with them forever. It's not going to be a turn-off valve, because I let them make my people suffer long enough to make sure I made them suffer longer. Look what the word indignation really means, too. If he says something that's going to be against somebody forever, we should know what that indignation really means. And it means this. It means anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment. Who has been more unfairly treated than we? An intense emotional state of induced displeasure. Induced displeasure. This displeasure that you're going through has been induced, Edom. Let's look at Zechariah chapter 2, verse 1. I lifted up mine eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, whither thou go? Where do you go? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him. So now there's two angels standing there, or two messengers is the true word. And said unto him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, saith Yahuah, will be under her wall a fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. In other words, you're not going to be able to get through. You're going to establish his people to the place where you cannot get to them, because he's going to be that fire. Like he was that pillar for the Israelites coming out of Egypt the first time. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So he goes on to say, and will be the glory. We will honor and love him. He will be, ooh, so wonderfully gorgeous. Absolutely, powerfully magnificent. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahuah, for I have spread you abroad. Yes, he has. As the four winds of heaven. That's why you don't have a country like everybody else and bring all of their traditions, and they have no idea what it's like to be a people with none or very little. But that's all right, because I'm so glad I'm on Yah's side and he's on mine. And so are you, if you're walking his commandments. I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, saith Yahuah. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon. Come out from among them. Stop trying to be affirmed. Stop trying to be in the mix. Get out, because it's only destruction. If you're going to stay in there with them, you're going to be destroyed with them. For thus saith Yahuah of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. You know, when he says Yahuah of hosts, that means all of those powerful and mighty messengers of his is with him to defend you. He says, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touches you, Yahuah Yisraelites, touches the apple of my eye. They were giving homage to the wrong group and mistreating those that they thought was nothing. And now the pancakes flipped. And you know, when I flip them pancakes, what happens? It's brown on that side that's on the pan. When I flip it, that white part goes down on the pan to get brown too. And the whole pancake ends up light brown. Our time is now flipping. That pancake is turning up in the space, in the air, and going to come back down. For the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Make no mistake about it. He says, they're the apple of my eye, and you treat them like you worse than your dogs and your cats, worse than your mule. You was a fool. You glorified the wrong group, and now you're going to pay for it. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that Yahuah of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. For lo, I come and I will dwell in the midst of thee. There we go again. I love that. I will come and be your Yah, and you will be my people. I love that about him. He loves being with his people. 11. Let's go to, I guess I will with 11. I thought it was going to be 4, but I guess I skipped a page. Let's get back on the right page, Myra. All right. Yeah, that I did. I skipped a page. Sorry about that. Okay. That was Zechariah. I'm right. Okay. I'm right. All right. And verse 11, Zechariah. We're still in Zechariah. And many nations shall be joined to Yahuah in that day. Now, here's what I was saying before. Other nations will come. And it's like saying Gentiles. The Gentiles and nations are the same. We're Gentiles too, because we're a nation. That's all it means. There's no other word in the original Hebrew that splits that word up like they do today. The Jewish people did most of that splitting stuff up to show that they're other than Jewish. That's not what Yah did. This means nation. Okay, so he's saying now, and many Gentiles or many nations shall be joined to Yahuah in that day and shall be my people too. You're going to be his people. You come on in and make yourself at home with him. You obey his commandments and respect his people, his bride, and you may be servants, but you're going to be some happy servants. It's better than burning in hell. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yahuah of hosts have sent me unto you too. Isn't that wonderful? He didn't cut off everybody. He didn't do that. Some people would have you think that. It's not true. And Yahuah shall inherit Yehudah, his portion. He said, we have portions. Yeah, Yasarel has portions like they did the first time. In the new Yasarel, in the new kingdom, in the new Jerusalem. You hear me? We're going to have a part in the set-apart land, and shall choose. He's going to choose it again. See, he's backed off of Jerusalem right now. That's where he used to put it. He had put his name when we were there occupying it and putting forth the feasts there in Jerusalem or Jerusalem. See, he was there with us. And we were able to bring our offerings and sacrifices. I had told you in the last program that this is where we had to celebrate the feast. He kicked us out. He let them destroy the temple. That's it. You see. The people want to try to dig it up. You can't reinstate something Yah has not reinstated. Who are you to do that? Well, we found out where the Israelites again, and we can just start the feasts and the new moons. No, you can't unless he told you to do it. You're transgressing. Stop it. Let's go on. It says, he shall choose Jerusalem again, because he has not chosen it right now. It's under the foot of the what? Other nations or Gentiles. Just saying other nations. In 13 it says, be silent, O all flesh, before Yahuah, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. Uh-oh. Something always gets ready to happen when he comes out of there. Really, Yah is spirit, but he's getting ready to do or perform something. In Revelation 6, we had read earlier about how, we'll read it again, 6, 9 through 11. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Elohim and for the testimony which they held. And I really have believed that we will be here up until that fifth seal. That fifth seal, we have to live through that. I don't believe we're going to be here for the 6th and 7th. I don't believe it. I don't see it happening. But let's go on, because that'll be another teaching another day. 10 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yahuah, holy and true, set apart and true, I love it, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And the white robes were given, we read that earlier, unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And that day is approaching. Everybody's been killed. I know I don't take anything from anybody else's Holocaust, but I know one thing. Our Holocaust was 10 times worse and still going on. So don't forget that. Yet we don't hear about ours. That's the way it is here. But that's all right. We know who's running things, right? Okay? As long as you know it, Yehudi. As long as you know it, Yasserel, that's what counts. Because we know Yah knows it. All right. So don't worry about it. Okay. We're going to go into Isaiah, 17th chapter, verse 5 and 7. And it shall be as when the harvestman gathers the corn and reapeth the ears with his arm. And it shall be as he that gathereth ears in the valley of Rephaim, worshippers of Moloch. In other words, the star of Rephaim. That is that star that they keep saying is a star of David. It is not a star of David. And you can find that scripture, Amos 5:26, about this star. Yet gleaming, the next verse, 6, yet gleaming grapes shall be left in it, as the shaking of an olive tree. Who is the olive tree? All right, we are the olive tree. 2 or 3 berries on top of the uttermost bough, top branch. 4 or 5 in the midst. Is it going to be here and there? Is a remnant. He's talking remnant here of Yasserel. And fruitful branches thereof, saith Yahuah. So even though it's going to be few, we're going to be fruit unto the Most High. 7. At that day shall a man look to his Maker, and his eyes shall have respect to set apart one, Yasserel. People are going to come, and they are going to respect and pay honor to his bride, his wonderful Yahusha, his wonderful, wonderful bride, Yasserel. They will bring gifts to the wedding. They will be welcome to the wedding. I hope you have your reservation. I hope you come to the wedding. I hope you will come and put your trust in him. Because everybody invited won't be coming. We know about that. And we also know that very few will be wanting to acknowledge that the ones they kept their foot on, the one that they criticized and ostracized, the ones they shot in the back, shooting over and over again, poisoned, dropped diseases on, cussed out, called names behind the back, did all kinds of things to the food. Yeah. Mistreated their children. Not only mistreated them, killed them, raped them, fed them to alligators, did all kinds of things. Sodomized the little boys and baby boys and girls. They just had at it, didn't they? Yeah, right here in this good old USA. Well, we're not even there. We're talking about Yah's people. And we're talking about the things that have been perpetrated. And we're talking about Yah. He will take care of those who have harmed us. I love him. I pray you do. I pray that you are studying the word, for he said to do so. He said, study to show yourself approved. There were times when most people in this earth couldn't read. And they had to have a few that could read the letters of the apostles to the believing Israelites at that time and whoever else had joined in. No more. Most of us now can read pretty good. And there's no reason why we cannot study this word, why we can't know that the feasts are not for today. There's no reason for that. Because if you just study, you'll see it's not. There's no reason for you to understand that you have to love every single body, because you don't. He never told us to love this world. He said, don't love this world, nor the things that are in it. He said, come out from Babylon. Come out from these folks who are in the system that is against, that's anti-Messiah. He said, come out from them and look up. That don't sound like no lovey-dovey to me. He said, they hated me. The world hates me. He said, they didn't hate it. They hate him now. And they're trying everything they can with these warheads and everything else to be ready for when he comes into this atmosphere. But it's nothing they're going to be able to do. It's going to be so much electricity going on around here. People, they're not going to know what hit them. Because right now, it's getting pretty tough for them. And I always say, I never ask y'all to punish people. God already know he said he's going to do it anyway. Well, it would be a waste of my time. You know what you pray? You pray Yah's will be done. That's what you pray. When you see something, say, oh, pray. Say, Father, thy will be done, and thy kingdom come. That's what you pray. Because if you don't know what Yah's will is, it's best to pray, let it be done. That way you'll be on the right side of this very incredulous time. I'm going to let you go. I want you to pray. If I shook you up a little bit, good. Stop listening to what people tell you and start searching the scriptures for yourself. And know that he is Yah. And he will tell you in his word what he wants you to do, where he wants you to do it, when and how. And he hasn't said that in these days about these feasts, about these tithes and all the stuff that people are teaching you. Be careful. Shalom.